Hi folks, my name's Tim, and got another turntable on my bench here, and I'm actually at a loss on a couple of things here, and I wanted to reach out to those in the Marantz community. I've been always a Pioneer guy and all that stuff, so I thought I would dabble in a Marantz unit. Understand these are not actually Marantz units, they're made by CEC, but supposed to be quite competent decks, and Marantz did their homework, I guess, when they went to CEC. So anyway, I picked up this turntable. It was a bit of a swap that went bad, and I'm actually getting my original turntable back. But I said I would look into it and see what I could do. And so when I got the turntable, the owner had claimed that everything was working correctly. It had gone through a service, and everything was working as it should. And then, of course, we did the swap in a rainstorm, took it out of the trunk, took it in, and played with it several hours later after the swap had taken place. And, you know, I'm not angry. It's just I should have done my own homework and should have checked it out myself, but I kind of didn't. And anyway, the fellow's upstanding, and he's standing by his word that it was working, and it's not. So we've come to an agreement. But I said I would look into it. And yeah, so what I noticed immediately when I got the turntable, I do have the dust cover. Dust cover's in actually pretty good shape. And you know, the plinth has got a bunch of scrapes and scratches on it. But when I started diving into the arm, that's when things started to stand out, and it was like danger, Will Robinson. Anyway, one thing I noticed was, and you can see I've got a jury rig thing here for the anti-skate. Normally there's a little stainless steel post that sticks out through a little hole in the side of the tone arm assembly, and that little bar was snapped off, so there's no actual way of applying anti-skate. What I've done is I've jury rigged it, so I've got a little blue tack. So I thought, okay, that's the only thing. I could probably try to fix that. It's going to do mean a little bit of jury rigging, because where the post goes in the hole, it's actually sheared off, so there's no way you can spin it out, and it's so small and minute that yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to core that out, and because it's stainless steel, it's going to be you just can't, I don't think, drill it without ruining the arm assembly. And yeah, so what I did was I just put some blue tack, snapped off a toothpick, put it in there, and now it actually works great as an anti-skate. So then I focused my efforts on rebalancing the arm, because it had been carried in the back of a trunk and all that stuff, and that's one of the first things I do is I look at the cart and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, sure enough, when you turn the counterweight, it doesn't actually screw in. And then when I looked at it, this whole assembly here, which comes off, I think, and maybe somebody who owns one of these turntables can tell me if they've ever disassembled the arm itself. For one thing, the big weight that goes on the end of the in behind the counterweight, it screws on, is missing, and that's in a diagram in the service manual. I'll put that diagram on at the end, and you can see the parts circled that were amiss with this arm. And so it was missing the big counterweight. So obviously it's going to move quite a bit forward, I think, or quite a bit back in order to do a proper balancing of the arm. And that's the thing, is I can't balance the arm, because I think and it's kind of weird, there's a threaded hole here, so I think there's a set screw, but then there's a rubber insert that goes in there that doesn't allow a set screw to go through and then lock this into place. So this thing just spins and spins on the back of the arm. So of course, when you're spinning the, you know, trying to screw the counterweight in, it does screw in if this thing is fixed, but it doesn't stay fixed. It just rotates on the shaft. And so I'm trying to figure out a way of fixing this so it's adjustable and you can still take it apart, that you can actually adjust the counterweight and balance the arm. So that's the two major problems that I'm having with this thing. You'll see on the back of this thing, there's a sort of a brass, looks like post that sticks out, that this thing sort of sits over, and then I think there's supposed to be a set screw or something like that to lock this to that post, and then that allows this to turn onto this shaft, and that does work correctly. I found the thread size for this, but the actual piece is completely missing, which is probably unobtainium given the age of these turntables. So you probably have to sacrifice another turntable in order to get the parts to do this. And even with that part, if you had the part, there's no way you can install it because it's snapped off inside the hole. So I'm thinking, I could get it working. I could jury rig a post there. It won't be pretty. And then, of course, the issues with this kind of a system. So I did manage to use a weigh scale and get it balanced and everything. And of course, what I did was I started playing it, plugged it into my Pioneer receiver that I'd rebuilt, and lo and behold, left channel is gone. So, and then taking a hard look at the RCA jacks on it, I'm almost certain these aren't turntable rated. Yeah, it says right on it, video cable. It's a heavily shielded cable, and it's the wrong kind of cable for a tournament. I'm sure it's not low impedance. So that's got to go. But nevertheless, the left channel's gone. Oh, my little puppy's coming to visit. And so what I'm going to do is just do some continuity checks here and see where the cut is, whether it's in the left ground or left positive. It's probably because of the heavy density of this, thickness of this cable. It probably didn't have a strain relief, so whoever did this apparently took it to a local electronics shop. The guy clearly didn't know what he was doing. So, yeah, my question to the Marantz community is, how easy is it to fix this? So once I can get it balanced, at least, I can, at least play it without anti-skate. But, I mean, I can fix a post, and I have a way of, I think, making a more sturdy post than blue tack and a toothpick. But, yeah, because it's not OEM and we'll have to jury rig it to get this thing going, I've decided to trade a Thorns turntable for it. So we're gonna get that one back, but I'd like to see if there's anybody has any ideas on how to fix this. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to open it up, and I'm sure it's the junction block between the tone arm wires and the RCA jacks. Just given the solid weight of these things, it's just, I'm sure there was too much tension on it or whatever. It could also be the head shell. It could be the head shell leads or whatever. So I'm gonna chase that down with continuity checks and take it from there. So thank you for watching, and if anybody has any ideas on what I can do or what kind of a piece I need to go in this little hole there, and as you see, the hole doesn't go all the way through to the shaft with a set screw, so I'm not sure if that's the way it functions. I think it just pinches on the rubber, which in turn grips on the brass extender on the arm. But if somebody has a clear photo, the manual actually doesn't show it because it's in behind the drawing, and they don't show whether there's a screw or something that goes into there. Yeah, other than that, it does spin onto it, but thank you. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do some quick continuity checks, as I mentioned in my previous segment. The left channel on this is gone. Whoever the monkey was that put this video cable on as a replacement RCA jacks for a turntable should be shot. I say that humorously, because these are clearly the wrong kind of cables for this type of purpose. They're way too thick, and they probably are way off as far as being low impedance cables. But nevertheless, I mean, they still should conduct, and of course, whoever did the job, if they used video cables, probably didn't know what they was doing when they did some soldering here as well. So we're going to test out the positive, so that we know the positive is working. Well, we got to make sure this is on, and do continuity mode. There we go. So we're going to go from the very end of the cartridge, so the red on the cartridge, to the red positive, or to the right channel positive. And we are getting continuity, so as expected, because I do get the right channel. We should get that as well with the ground. And there we do. And then this is where I expect it to fail, is the left positive. Yep, nothing. And let's see if even the left ground is connected. Gotta get it from this side, I think. Oh, maybe we can reach it. Yeah, left ground is working, but left positive is disconnected. Okay, so we'll do one more step. I should do it from the other end, but this will also tell me. Take the head shell off. Take these wires out so we can rule out the head shell being the issue, and the head shell connector. It could also be a connection in here, but you never know. So let's see how that goes. So red is top right, top left is white. Okay, again, let's do RCA terminals. So let's prove the right again. Yeah, that's right. And then right ground. That's working. Left ground. Ooh, left positive. Oh. Yeah, did. And then the ground is working. So yeah, I'm probably, given the cables, this type of cables they put on here, I'm probably almost certain it's where the transition block is for the, between the tone arm wires and the RCA jack. So if I flip it up and take it apart from the bottom, I'm sure we're going to find a disconnected one. In the meantime, I'm going to get rid of these cables and put something more decent on. So at least I'll get it fixed up that way for the guy, and then I can pretty much think I can jury rig this to give me weight. It's just the you know, this unsightly armature for the anti-skate that's got me flummoxed. And yeah, so given all those issues, we'll try and get it back to the guy in working shape, so at least he has a working turntable. So thanks for watching. I should have mentioned, yeah, I did a speed check. All the speeds check out okay, but of course when I open it up, I'm going to go through and hit all of these connections with contact cleaner and or fader lube in the case, well, contact cleaner for most of these. And yeah, just go through it and make sure it's got a good cleaning for all of the switches and everything. I think they're all micro switches inside, is from what I've seen on some of the other videos. So we'll see how that looks. But everything is functioning. The Q up and Q down are working. I did check 45 RPM, but 33 is working bang on. I'll spin up 45 and just make sure it's holding, because sometimes these pots, so yeah, fader loop for the pots here. We'll have to, you know, make sure they're nice and clean, because they can slow them down, but it will make sure that it's tracking properly. So more to follow. All right, I flipped it over, made sure I take all the components off so then they aren't locked down the arm and everything. And so I've taken the top off. It's just 4 screws, or the bottom off. So I've just 4 screws basically. And the connection is behind the shield. I can already see the problem right now. This should be an anchor point. So when you tug on these wires, you're probably tugging directly on the very delicate connections between the RCA jacks and the very, very, very fine, thin tone arm wires. So, yeah, I'm not impressed. So all that's acting as a strain relief here for these really heavy-duty, thick cables is this little bent thing, and it doesn't even clamp totally on it. So when you pull on this, you're pulling directly on the connection that's holding, and it's, what a bad soldering job. It's horrible. So these wires are super thick, tons of threaded shielding wire is just sticking out, and these wires aren't properly dressed for the grounding, and just a terrible, terrible job. So those need to be changed. This wire needs to be anchored, because here it's not surprising that the left ground actually is not functioning. Yeah, the solder joint is completely broken. See? You can see I bent it up. So what a complete botch job. Anyway, that's easily fixed. We'll just hit it with, I got to bring my soldering gun down. We'll disconnect those solder joints. Make sure I keep identifying, or identify where the red ground and the left ground, right ground, and right positive, left positive are located. And we are going to get rid of this mess and fix that. So I need to, first of all, I need to find a suitable replacement RCA jack. I may not have something around. I might have to order or something, but all the other parts look good. I'm going to give it a little spritz with some contact cleaner and fader lube as appropriate. And everything else looks really clean and really nice inside, except for this poor connection job. So we'll see what we can do. Nice feet that were put on this one. I understand these are aftermarket feet, but they're really, really nice. Got a little spring to them, and they are adjustable. So really nice to be able to balance that off. And here are all your micro switches, quite a few of them. And I don't see any bulging caps at all. Everything looks pretty good. I don't suspect anything, so we'll give that a little spritz of fader lube on these pots here. And the rest of it, I don't even think you need to really lube the micro switches, but we'll see. More to follow.